All right, it looks like I've been given access to GPTs, so I thought I'd just have a quick go at building one and see what it's like, what the experience is like, and what we can make. So I like to make gambling robots, so let's see if we can make one that'll help me predict NBA outcomes. I would like to make a bot which analyzes NBA statistics for teams and players, and then when I give it a set of outcomes for a given game, tell me the percentage likelihood those outcomes are to happen. So the idea is this is sort of like parlay multi-bet where you say, LeBron to get 4 rebounds and 4 assists, Jokic to get 25 points, that kind of thing, and try and work out which ones are likely to happen and which ones aren't. Let's see if it allows me to do it. I don't want to watch this. And how it goes with it. GPT behavior updated. Great choice. Give it a name. How about Stats Master? What about NBA? NBA Cash King. Okay, so far so good. NBA stats and probability forecaster. Making a profile picture. Pretty cool. Got my Anna Karenina stuff. I'll close that. Profile picture. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. I like that. All right. No, I like it. Great job, GPT. Well done. Okay, glad you like it. Now let's refine it. What kind of tone and language? Maybe use some buzzword. It should be a hip to the jive, funky, b-ball star, like Will Smith from that show he was on. Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Cool. All right, giving it concrete examples. In West Philadelphia, born. Okay, Cash King will have that cool, charismatic vibe, just like the Fresh Prince himself, not like modern day Will Smith. All right, now let's talk about boundaries. Are there any specific tops? Nah, just go for it, man. I mean, I understand that if you're building like a psychology bot or something that wants to stick to a particular topic, but I don't really care about boundaries. The last thing I want is more alignment in these things. All right. All about basketball live, no holds barred. Now, always provide a straight answer or clarifying question. Always provide a straight answer. The input will be a series of outcomes like LeBron for 4+ assists. Joe Kick. Why do I pick the hardest to spell name? Joe Kick, 25+ points. I always do overs. Brogdon under 6 assists. And the output should list each of those outcomes along with a percentage likelihood and an explanation as to how that percentage was arrived at. All right, this is pretty good. I'm actually quite impressed so far, if it can actually do this. I wonder if it can actually crawl the stats. So this is the website. I use Basketball Reference, and I go to the teams, NBL, not NBL, whoops, teams, NBA teams, and from the active franchises list. I wonder if it's actually able to crawl them off there. Okay. How can it make... It needs to be able to crawl all of the 2023 basketball statistics so that it can make accurate predictions. I'm still at that stage where I don't like 100% trust AI that it's going to know exactly what I want, but let's give it a chance. I'm just going to do it the way I would do it if I assumed this thing could do anything, and let's see where it gets to. Would you like to take it? It's now equipped to crawl through the latest basketball stats. It didn't even ask me for a URL or anything. Okay, let's try it. Okay, let's try. Dude. Awesome. Head over to the playground. Does it mean like here? Okay. All right. Who is playing today? Like, if it can't figure that out, we're in a bit of trouble. Because it sort of needs to be able to browsing with Bing. Okay, cool. November 10th. That's today, according to my calculations. At least it is here in Australia. Don't know about the US. Okay. Fox Sports. This will be cool if it can figure out who's playing. It's a little slow. The way I do it in mine is I actually download the list of games and cache them. But I don't know if this has that ability. It probably does. Okay, Pistons versus Philadelphia. Let's just check. Let's just check that that's the case, that it got it correct. NBA scores. Bucks and Pacers, Hawks and Magic. Okay. What? They're not correct. I think those were maybe yesterday's game. I don't know. Is this November 10th? Lakers versus Phoenix Suns. Oh, I get it, because it's going, that's tomorrow in the US. But like, I'm in Australia. Sorry, I am in Australia. So you need to find the games for the 9th of November 2023. I'm sure you could adjust this in the bot to figure out their time zone. I'd like to think you could anyway. But anyway, that's fine. We'll get there. So let's have a quick look. I don't really know like the players' names very well. So let's go today's matches. Bucks Pacers. So we've got Antetokounmpo, Halliburton. He averages 4 rebounds and a shitload of assists, 11.9. My God. All right, let's try those guys out. So these are our full player stats. So here we go. This is great. We'll put this over here, and then we'll ask our bot some stuff about them if it ever gets the job done in terms of what games are on. So the game we're interested in, I've already forgotten. Bucks versus Pacers. Okay. We'll just go off this screen. Bucks versus Pacers. When it gets there, if it gets there, we will ask it, you know, how many points will these guys get? How many rebounds? How many assists? Or we'll tell it. So let's actually, while we wait, let's come up with a list. So we'll say, I'm not doing Antetokounmpo because I don't know if I can spell that. So we'll say T Halliburton to get 20 points. Because he averages 22. So getting 20 seems quite achievable. T Halliburton to get 11 assists, which is so high, but if he can, sometimes we'll see. So he's a pretty good player. 20 points and 11 assists. That's amazing. Okay, rebounds. So Giannis Antetokounmpo to get, what's he good at? Rebounds to get 9 rebounds. And M Turner as well. Turner to get, so he only averages 8.5. So let's say to get 8 rebounds. Let's actually put them both as 10 because I want to see if it's like, hey, that's too many, bro. All right, I apologize. I couldn't get the full schedule. Okay, dickhead. Let's just focus on today's game between Bucks and Pacers. See, the thing about this is, like, it's all right for me because I understand what's going on behind the scenes here. But if you think about me wanting to publish this GPTs to like the general public and sell it or whatever, A, it's way too slow. B, it's too random. Like, look at the websites it's going to, vavel.com. Like, it's literally just screwing around. It was scheduled to start at that time. If you're watching in Australia, it was played. Okay. Okay, so let's just give it a chance. In the game, how likely do you think each of these outcomes are to occur? And we'll see. I know this is possible. This exact thing is possible using this exact model because I've done it. So I'm interested to see where it's getting its stats from to make these things. So Halliburton's known for his scoring ability. So is this just the model knowing because it's been trained on these websites, or is it actually looking at this year's stats? So I'm going to ask it a few expositional questions after this to see where did it get its stats from. So this is how, without current season statistics, so where did you get your data from to make these? It also didn't do what I asked, which is to give percentage explanations against each of them. It can't update it, so it's only known these players up to January 2022. Okay, so this is unhelpful so far. This isn't really capable of doing what I need it to do. Let's see here. Conversation starters, knowledge, upload files. Okay, let's take away some of its abilities and instead upload some data. So let's get the data for the Bucks and the Pacers from this year. Give it that and see how it's able to do on that. So Milwaukee Bucks. We're not going to give it from 1969. We'll just get this year's current stats. 56 seasons. How do I get just this year? Basic stats. Team stats per game in 2023, 2024. Okay. Per game. Here we go. For the players. Let's just give it that. So we'll say, oops, we're going to have to save these as text files. So we'll say Milwaukee. Why did I pick the hardest to spell ones? I bet I spelled that wrong. Milwaukee 2023.txt. Put that on the desktop. Okay. And then we will do the same for Pacers, was it? I wonder if it's just PAC in here. Shit, no. Pacers. Indiana Pacers. Okay, year by year. Oops. Team stats per game. 2023, 2024. And then per game. Pacers 2023.txt. Okay, so now we're going to upload those two files. Give it some real contemporary data to work with. Why I made it red? It looks like an error. I don't know why you'd pick red. Additional settings. Use conversation to improve our models. No, I'm not going to swear on here, but F off. How about the promise? Oh, we'll never use it. We'll never use it. And it's like, yeah, we will unless you tell us not to. Okay. Did you get those files, bro? Please update your model to always reference those files for statistics. Okay. So it's interesting. It's updating the app every time. There's no idea of like version history or reversion or anything like that. So like if you screw up and make a change to an existing GPT that you're not happy with, maybe there is history, I don't know. delete. It says draft. So I don't know if there's a way to like revert if you make a mistake. Okay, so it's always going to use it for predictions and analysis. So let's try again. Today we have bucks versus paces. Please evaluate these outcomes. All right, let's try again. Go back to here. All right, let's see how that goes. Searching my knowledge. All right, that's good. And I've taken away its ability to browse the web, which will stop it getting distracted. I do like that element of it, that you can selectively enable and disable abilities. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what it's up to. It shouldn't take that long to run a single prompt, although we have seen GPT-4 being quite overloaded in the last few days, so it could be just that. All right, here we go. So it reckons Halliburton, yes. It's still forgotten to do the percentages. I asked. Remember, you need to give me percentage likelihood on each of the outputs. Also, don't just go on averages. You need to think about the defense of the other team, the likely matchups, and other factors which can affect performance, such as time on the court. Averages are not enough. All right, let's try that again, because just going off the average, anyone can do that. Like, you look at the average and you're like, oh, will he hit his average, or he might go slightly below it, or he might go slightly above it. It's like, it's useless. Okay, so it's reset him again. All right, now let's go. We've got more factors at play now, and hopefully we get the percentage output. I will consider the current status. Okay, he's gone for average again. Still hasn't given a percentage. Oh no, here we go. 75 to 80. Okay, that's good. He doesn't have defensive stats. That's fair enough, because I didn't give those. I could probably get some of these advanced stats in there. Maybe I should have done that. Okay, Halliburton to get 11 assists. 80% to get 11 assists. That seems crazy. Antetokounmpo 70, 75. I was feeling pretty confident about these outcomes, except for Turner. It doesn't like that. Okay, I think let's do one more thing. Let's switch. Let's give it the advanced stats, and we'll give it a chance. So what team is this? That's the Pacers. So I'll just update that, and then we'll go back to Milwaukee, and we'll get their advanced stats. Now, obviously, if I was doing this for real, I would give it a lot more data than this. Like, I'd give it actual... Where's advanced? I would actually give it play-by-play for every single game, which is what I do in my own system. But this is just a demo, like, of their system, and I don't really have time to do all of that. So for now, what we'll do is we'll just stick to a simple system and just see how well it's able to follow our instructions. I would say it's moderate at the moment. It's somewhat following our instructions, and it's decent. It's not terribly disappointing, but it's also not like blowing me away. Although if you didn't know how to code and you could build this, I think that would be pretty exciting. All right, I didn't give it any instructions this time. I just gave it the the outcomes. I don't know if it's considering this. Oh no, this previous output, but obviously not. It's sort of resetting after it's been updated. It's definitely pretty impressive. You have to spend a lot of time screwing around, which is why I think they probably need like drafts. I mean, they say draft, but they need like history and versions and things like that, because you wouldn't want to do all this work and then lose it. Okay, he's got player efficiency rating, his usage rate, which I suppose is how long they're on the court. Network error. Okay, try again. Might be my network, it might not be their fault. All right, let's see how we go. Halliburton. I like this player efficiency rating stuff. It's pretty cool. All right, 20, consider, so it's forgotten about the percentage again, which is a bit annoying. It does seem a bit random how well it follows your instructions. It's like, it's likely high. I want percentages. Okay. It's not possible to give, yeah, so it's sort of hedging its bets like GPTs tend to do. I'd say that output was worse. So they're interesting, they're taking feedback. I hope it didn't use my data again. Geez, you'd have to be careful, like that additional settings, like it's pretty hidden, isn't it? All right, so yeah, I guess it's interesting. You could make some pretty cool things if you use the web browsing and code interpreter capabilities of it. It's definitely interesting. It's not the level of configurability I'm used to or like. Obviously, you could give it some more instructions and things like that. It's a pretty good first effort at agents, I think. And I imagine this is definitely an early V1 and this is going to evolve rapidly. So yeah, interesting. Tell me what you think in the comments. I just wanted to add a couple more thoughts onto the end of this I had right after I hit stop on the recording. The problem with this is with the web browsing capability, right, is that, and I might just test it quickly, is like, say I don't have these stats. Like, let's go to Milwaukee Bucks. So the problem is that if it's just randomly browsing the web, how can you guarantee a consistent experience for your users? When you want stats about Milwaukee Bucks, get the content from here. Oops, I better turn web browsing back. Oh, I did turn it back on. When deleted my text. Want stats about Milwaukee. Well, actually, let's be more generic than that because it's obviously not going to be able to do that. Like, let's go to teams. Okay, when you want stats about players or teams in the NBA, please get it only from here. So let's try that because I just realized after I hit stop on the recording that without being able to control where it gets its data, you're either going to have to provide it with an API, which takes away the no-code, non-technical aspect of it. And if you can control it, then you're really relying on a website that has exactly what you need, or you're going to have to continuously upload the data to it like the way I was. So manual data is not going to be enough. You need a way for it to get dynamic data every time and to be the data you want, at least for this use case. All right, so let's try that. Okay, who will win in Milwaukee versus Indiana today? And how many points will be scored? Now let's see if it's able to get and decides to go get that data. That's the other thing. You need to make sure that it guarantees that it's going to do that. There's also no like expose on like what its instructions are. Like, you think behind the scenes it's definitely generating a prompt here, but it's hidden. You don't see what that prompt is. You have no way of controlling it unless you read through the history and remember all of the things you told it. So it's kind of a little bit of a black box in terms of what's going on. Whereas if you're building it yourself, you would obviously refine your prompts over time to get what you want. So yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit like random, like in terms of its performance, because you can't guarantee it. So it's saying, so first of all, it didn't browse the web to get the stats from what I look, or did it? So it's gone betting lines. So it's gone to like sports bet things, like saying what the line is, but it didn't actually look at the stats. Can you look at the stats for these teams to make an assessment? And we'll see. Like, because I've explicitly said if you want stats about the teams, please only get it from here. And look, it's okay, so it's searching for basketball reference, but it's not. It's weird that it went to Bing instead of going to the URL, but okay, let's give it a chance because it has seemingly found the right site. But it's interesting I had to explicitly tell it to go look for those teams. which is confusing. Come on. I can't access detailed statistical information due to site restrictions. That's true. It's true. Basketball Reference does try to stop crawlers. You can get around it pretty easily by spoofing your browser, but obviously this thing doesn't do that. So that's fair enough. So yeah, I don't know. You'd have to have a dedicated website. I think this is where we get into technical trouble, where you do need some technical skills, and this whole black box element to it, I think, is a little bit, for me as an app creator, I'd be like, oh, is it really, can I control the quality of the user experience when I'm really just relying on its good graces and it happening to remember what I've asked it to do over a long period of time and stick with that, which clearly it isn't doing, because I asked it to give me percentage likelihood and it only did it in 50% of the cases. So yeah, look, it's interesting. They're on the right track. I'm sure people are going to make amazing stuff with this. I don't doubt that. But it's just, I think it could be, there's a lot missing here that could make it a lot better.